Hey there. So in this video, I'll tell you exactly how you're going to use Git Worktrees to parallelize your development practices and achieve 10x amount of results in the shortest amount of time possible. Before we go into it, I'd like to say why Git Worktrees is important now, especially because as Git Worktrees has been there since quite long and it's one of the most underused features in Git. And the reason why it's getting so much popular now and why you should leverage it right now is because a lot of our day-to-day time now is going into crafting the right prompt or engineering the context so that the agents can do the task themselves. And a lot of our time is spent into preparing a right plan of action or a to-do list that an agent takes and completes it one by one. And when I realized what I was doing in my day-to-day life, most of my time I spent was on waiting for an agent to complete its task, and then I would have gone ahead and reviewed its code and then merged to the push to the PR. So instead, what we can do now is if you are using Git Worktrees, so you can develop multiple features or bug fixes parallelly, and that is going to save you a lot of time. And especially if you are leveraging agentic coding, show you exactly what I mean. So 2 months back, I posted this on LinkedIn that I was using 4 Git Worktrees at the same time. If you can see, few of them are doing feature planning and some of them are doing bug fixing. So yeah, it's a lot of work happening at the same time. We cannot grasp our head around it all the time. But you can leverage AI agents so they can follow your plan of action and complete all the tasks at the same time. So without further ado, let's get into it. So imagine you are halfway into developing a feature A perhaps, and then your client comes along and tells you that, okay, this is a lot of bugs that we found and this needs to go to production as that. So traditionally you would have stashed your code and then checked out to a different branch and started working and then come back unstashed. It's a lot of work. So instead today what you can do is basically imagine you are on feature A branch and there's a lot of bugs that comes along. Then you can create a work tree from there, and in that work tree that can be like in a separate branch, and you can do all the bug fixes and then push it to GitHub at the same time. And a work tree is not a branch, so a work tree is like a different environment and a clone of your repository, and everything is managed by Git itself, so you don't have to like manually copy paste anything, and I'll show you the exact commands. And that's how easily you can like run multiple tasks at the same time. And it also gives you easy separation of context, so you don't have to worry about merge conflicts or anything. And yeah, parallel development is supported as it is. Going into the exact specifics, so I have a repository set up to show you exactly what I mean. So this is a project that I have been doing, expense tracker demo. I'm in the main branch, and let's say I'm working on my features here and I want to do a separate feature. Let's call it feature A. I can just create another Git Worktrees called feature A, and this means it just creates this folder in the parent directory, and that's where Git Worktrees are supposed to be, as it is a separate repo entirely. And next you can basically use the same syntax as checking out. So -b means checkout. You can check out to a different branch. So let me create a feature A branch, and yeah, that's it. So how you can check what worktrees you have is using this command, git worktree list, and that tells you like these are the exact paths, the Git Worktree, and I have 2 worktrees. So now I'll just go inside my root folder, which is projects, cd into the feature A, which is at the exact same repository. So if you can see the details, so this is the exact same thing. I'll tell you what are the common pitfalls here. So even though the project repositories are same, not everything is copied. So you know that stuff called git ignore, and a lot of files inside it are not tracked into Git. Node modules or environment variables, those are not basically synced. So the problem is if you run here like your dev server, it runs in 3001, that works. But if you are in your work tree and you run this, so this would not work because node modules are not installed here. So I'll tell you one shortcut and the hard way. So the hard way is you can like install all the packages here again using this pnpm. Yeah, go through the normal way, copy paste all the environment variables, and that's something you can do. But otherwise, what I did in my case, as I was having to create a lot of worktrees, come back to all of those stuff later, I used this Symlinks. So Symlinks are basically, you are telling your repository that this is where my file is and I'm just pointing it to it. So yeah, imagine in like 10 years ago when in Windows systems you used to like create a shortcut to it in your desktop, and that's what exactly Symlink is. So how you can generate Symlink is through command, for which I created actually this project for you to simplify the creation process. And this is what it is. And here you can basically give your repository path, which is this path. And this should be your default repository path. And you can tell your worktree name here. So in our case, it's feature A. But before it, you will need to say that what are all the things you need to create a Symlink for. So here we need to create it for node modules and for .env. And if in your case, the env and node modules are in some other directories, you can also add a path and do something like this functions and slash node modules or something like that. And these are all the Symlink folders. And here I get a command ready to go that I can copy paste it here. And yeah, my Symlinks are now created. So if I run, so if I look at all the items, you can see .env is pointing to here and node modules is pointing to here. And now I can easily npm dev. It opens up at a different port, 3002. And yeah, so I can like interact with my code base in 2 different ports and develop multiple features parallelly. So imagine back in my LinkedIn post, I had 4 worktrees. So you can also have like 4 development servers running on 4 different ports, and you can see them on a different desktop. And that's something cool you can do. But once you are done with all this process and now get started with the coding, so how can you exactly like develop features here? So to develop the features, you can just open up your repository in this worktree. So basically this is our main worktree. This is my repo, and I can open the repository on the other worktree that I created for feature A. And these are my 2 cursor windows showing 2 different worktrees. So basically your potential is endless here. So whatever you want to do, you can. So you can open up multiple agents here. Like in one, you can run Gemini CLI for content generation or stuff, enhancing your copywriting. And here you can run Claude Code or Codex. And all of these agents independent, and they will run like without each other and in a separate environment. So yeah, so even if you are doing agentic development, so you must be doing some sort of like planning first and then creating a specification file and then giving it to agent. So here, as we have multiple environments, so you can create a plan for this agent, another for this. In Claude Code, you can just like tab to plan mode and then create the plan and give it to multiple worktrees. So this is the power with which you can develop multiple features, do bug fixes, run anything that you want in parallel. But keep in mind that this is just going to cost you a lot of RAM, which is okay if you have a lot of it, but otherwise you can just limit how many worktrees you are creating. And that's how you just create worktrees. And now after you are done with your feature development and stuff, now you want to delete your worktrees because yeah, nobody has a lot of infinite memories. So you can come ahead and check out the commands for deleting here, and I'll show you how it works. So first of all, close all the cursor windows that you have, and I'll just come back in my directory, and I'll just rmrf that particular worktree that I created. And here I can check out what are all the worktrees that I have, and you can see beside feature A that it's written prunable. Prunable means the directory is deleted, and now I can go ahead and delete this. So I'll just write git worktrees prune. That's it. And so this is an alias that I created for Git Worktree list, and you can see I just have 1 worktree now. So that's how you remove a worktree. And yeah, I think now you understand a lot of Git worktrees to be dangerous. And yeah, just one more heads up that I wanted to give is basically if you have multiple worktrees in multiple branches. So imagine here I have a worktree in main, and here I had a worktree in feature. Until and unless one of your worktree has left a particular branch, you cannot check out to that branch from a different worktree. So imagine, like, let me just create a few worktrees here. Yeah, so this is what I mean. So I just created 2 worktrees called feature A, another is feature B, and they both are on their own corresponding named branches. So if I am in feature A worktree and I just want to check out to feature B, it says you that fatal feature B is already checked. And because Git Worktrees are attached to that specific branch currently, and you might have different changes in both the places, it won't allow you to check out to a different branch. But if you really want, what you can do is you can just commit all your changes here and then just switch your branch to something else. Like I go to main here. Okay, even in main I have something else. So you can just create another branch and just switch it temporarily. And here you can come to feature me now. So yeah, this is how simple it is, and I hope everything would have made sense. Now I can give you some of the few tips and tricks that I have been using to enhance the speed of creating worktrees. When I told you about creating Symlinks to multiple node modules, so one of the downsides of that is, imagine if you are in a different worktree and here you want to remove some packages or add some new packages. You are doing some changes to your package.json. That means the Symlinks cannot do this thing because the Symlink is just a shortcut to the original node module. So here you need to either install all the node modules for this specific worktree, or you can use pnpm workspaces, which we won't go into here. Smart way of managing all the node modules, and that's just make a parent directory and all the worktrees will be there inside it, and that will help you to work with multiple different packages and different worktrees. You can use this generator whose link I'll put in the description so that it will be easier for you to create Symlinks, and also the aliases that I use to create worktrees and list them and prune them, all of those fun stuff. So let me know if you want to see something else in future and how you guys are using agentic coding, leveraging using current tools that are available. Then I'd be also happy to research into that and use it in our workflows. So thank you so much for being here and hope you have a nice day and keep vibe coding. Thanks. Bye.